Hello Internet! So today I'm going to be doing a Draw My Life. So here's the story about me. So my mom and dad met at a basketball game. Really big bald guy that had a camera and a very eccentric woman. A couple months later they had a kid, me. My family involves me, my mom, and my two half-brothers Nelson and Taylor, who are 10 and 8 years older than me. That was a very interesting dynamic because I kind of grew up a little faster because of having that big of an age gap. From a young age I was really involved in the church just because my family was really religious. So I went to Sunday school every Sunday and everything, and I had my stuffed animal and it was great. While in elementary school, outside of school, I did a lot of things such as dance class, swim team, piano. I just really liked getting involved, especially piano really helped me get a love for music, and dance class was just one of my introducing factors to performing later in my life. While in swim team and dance class, I met my friends Ginny and Ellie, and they're still my friends today. While growing up, my family was one of the token white families in our neighborhood. When I started elementary school, I was the only white kid until maybe about like 2nd or 3rd grade. But during that time, being the only white kid, I got picked on a bit, and that wasn't fun. I was usually picked on for always wearing Harry Potter stuff and being a nerd, and also mainly being white. 4th and 5th grade, I started orchestra at my elementary school, and didn't help in 5th grade my nerd aspect of me. I was in chess club, I was in orchestra, I was hall monitor, and I taught 2nd graders math, and I got glasses. After 5th grade, I moved up in the church into the middle school aspect of the youth group, and I went on a bunch of mission trips, and it was really fun. I got to help out widows every year on a thing called Widow's Harvest, and just did a lot of mission work, and it was really fun. 6th grade, I met one of my dearest friends now, Ari, and I really liked him, so we dated for a while, but then I found out that he hadn't even told his mom, and we had to break up because mom told us we were too young to date. But he is still one of my best friends today. In 7th grade, I found a band called Late Night Reading. They really introduced me into the bands that I love now, like All Time Low, We Are the In Crowd, Ghost Town, Sleeping with Sirens, all of those different bands. This also introduced me into my scene phase. I really loved Blood on the Dance Floor in this phase. Oh god, kill me. But in the scene phase, I also started getting not depressed, but I was just really sad a lot of the time. Although when I look back on pictures I was always smiling, but I just remember being home in my bed just listening to music, just not feeling okay, even though I had a lot to be happy about. During this time I did discover cutting. I would go home and in my really sad moments I would cut, and I finally got over that big heap when I was in high school. But all throughout 7th grade I was really bad in that. And that summer I went on a mission trip with my church again, and I finally confided in some of my best friends there. One of the girls I had spent most of my summer with, we were really good friends, and we had a lot of fun together, we did everything together. And after that mission trip, when school started again, she decided to tell the school that I cut. After that, I got a lot of people telling me to kill myself already, that I was emo scum, that I would never get anywhere in the world, and all of that. It was just a really dark time for me. 2nd semester in my 8th grade year, I finally started a theater program at my middle school because I had always loved performing. I had been in orchestra since I was in 4th grade, so I was like, oh, awesome, I can do more than just play instruments. So I started that, and it was a really good outlet for me to be on stage and to sing and to do that with some of my friends. So after middle school, I was still a bit depressed and all of that, and I was still very much into all of the bands and just very dark clothing, which I still am. But when 9th grade started, after the first week, I met a boy named Tom. we'll call him Tom for this video. When I met Tom, he was wearing a Suicide Silence shirt, and me being in my phase still of really loving everything, really glamorizing suicidal stuff and mental illness, which is really bad. Don't do that. We dated for a very long time. I was very happy. I was in love. He would come over, we would watch movies and just cuddle, and it was great. But in the relationship, I was still kind of oblivious to a lot of bad things in relationships. I didn't know that no was an option, so I just went along with everything. I did everything he wanted because I was just so in love, and yeah. While dating him, I went to his robotics team. I did everything to make him happy. He went and saw me in theater shows, and he really supported me in theater as I got really into it that year. Tom was very protective over me. He wouldn't let me talk to anyone that he didn't seem fit for me to talk to. He only really let me talk to his friends and my one friend, Jessica. About 3 to 4 months into the relationship, Jessica said that her youth group was doing an event on Halloween, and she wanted me to meet some of her friends that she had met in other classes. So we all decided that we were all going to dress up as cats, and I went in a onesie and I met some of my best friends that night. And I finally realized I could have fun with more people than just Tom. So after that Halloween, I started hanging out with those people a lot, and Tom was okay with it, so I would spend my weekends and after school hours either at theater with Tom or with all of my friends, and it was a really good time. I remember this being one of the happiest times of my life. Then came winter break. Winter break, both Tom and I had to be out of town at different times, so most of winter break we didn't see each other. The only time we did was on New Year's, and that was really fun. The Sunday before second semester of school started, Tom and I hung out. We watched a movie, and he was really distant. He wasn't really talking to me, and it was very different. That night I asked if anything was wrong, and he said he didn't think he was okay to be in a relationship anymore. And he was a very suicidal person himself, so I was very worried about him and making sure that he was okay. The next day, I get a call from my friend Ethan saying that he saw Tom with one of my friends at the mall. I didn't want to believe it, so I was asking Tom where he was, and he said he was at home playing guitar. So in my little mind, I believed him. I didn't eat for a couple days. On that Wednesday that school started again, I was in a blanket, I hadn't eaten for a couple days, and I passed out in my math class. Tom was worried about me, but I didn't care at this point because he was being very rude to me for no reason, which was very out of the ordinary because he usually was very caring. Later that week, I found out that he liked one of my other friends, and I'd been with her for a while. A couple months after Tom and I had broken up, I had not really talked to anyone. A lot of the time when I am upset, I isolate myself and I don't talk to anybody else, and it's really bad. I usually maybe have a once-a-year meltdown because I don't really open up to others. So at this time, it was just a time where I just needed to say something to him. So I got Ari to back me up and my friend Sharp, and they're bigger than me, and Tom is about a foot taller than me, so it was good to have some backup. I call this my only time truly being angry. And while I was confronting him, I was crying, so at one point he stood up to comfort me, and this is the only time that I have ever yelled at someone or used profanity against someone, and please excuse my language. I yelled at him, "You sit the fuck down and listen to me." Apparently I was very scary, according to Ari and Sharp at this time. So this part of my life I don't really want to talk about that much. Basically, second semester, 9th grade, was a very sad time for me, and I relapsed and started cutting again. I did meet one of my best friends now, Camille, at this time, and both of us were going through a really rough patch, and we helped each other through that. The summer after my freshman year, Jessica and I were hanging out a lot, and Jessica came out to me as asexual, which I was completely new to the subject. I had no idea what this was, and when she explained it to me, it kind of made sense, but kind of. I explained to her how I felt about while being in the relationship with Tom, and how I felt about sex stuff later in life, and she said that how I was describing myself was demisexuality, and I looked into it, I read on it, and it really did make sense for me. So the summer before my sophomore year, I was out as a demisexual. That summer, it got really better. My friends helped me through it. We went and we had sleepovers a lot. We would have movie nights, and it was just a really fun time trying to get out of my sadness, I guess. Come 10th grade, I was asked to be the improv president at my school for our improv troupe. I was ecstatic because improv is one of my favorite parts of theater, and I was cast in another play, and it was just a really fun time, and I got really into theater this year. I went to a thing called ThesCon, and I just dove straight into theater. I was in plays at my school, I was leading improv, and it was just so good. I got an internship over the summer with a theater near me, and I got to lead groups with kids and teach them and lead them around with theater. All through 10th grade, my friends Camille and Ellie and I had sleepovers almost every weekend. We were together, we are the three amigos, and it was great. During the summer before this year, though, I found out that Ellie had to move away. After knowing Ellie for a couple years, it was very hard for me, and still is, that she is gone. I love you so much, Ellie. Have fun in Cheeseland. Just this past year, in the second semester of my sophomore year, I was really struggling with a romantic identity. I started finding girls romantically attractive and really wanted to be in a romantic relationship with a girl. And I found out that there was a thing that I could be demisexual and biromantic. It took a really long time for me to accept that I liked girls, because I was like, no, that's not something that can happen. No, I don't like girls in that way. That's not something about me. I finally talked to my friend Sean about it, and Sean talked me through it and was just very proud of me for even telling him about it. And a week later, I made a video on my YouTube channel, which I'll link somewhere over here, I guess. And it was my coming out video, so you can watch that if you want. It was a hard time at first, just constantly coming out to people, and I still, every day, come out to people, which is kind of a given if you're in the LGBT community. So now I go to GSA every Tuesday morning and have fun with all of my fellow gays. During the summer before junior year, which is this year, I finally realized that I want to do theater as a living. This all brings us to this year, my junior year in high school. I am now the co-vice president of my theater troupe. I'm cast in another play. I'm very involved in the theater at my school and at the theater that I worked at over the summer. I really love it, and I guess anything to take out of this is that you can get through things if you open yourself up to others and that you're friends with others. Definitely lean on your friends and don't isolate yourself, because if you isolate yourself, you'll just blow up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week. Bye!